An initial report suggests that Iran's nuclear program was only set back a few months by U.S. strikes. That's where we're starting the 7 from the Washington Post. I'm Hannah Jewell. It's Wednesday, June 25th. Let's get you caught up with today's 7 stories. Early on Sunday, the U.S. launched strikes on Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities. Shortly after, President Donald Trump said they had been completely and totally obliterated. But an initial assessment from the Defense Intelligence Agency, first reported by CNN yesterday, cast significant doubt on that claim. According to people familiar with the report, core components of Iran's nuclear effort were damaged but not destroyed. U.S. intelligence reports also indicate that Iran moved multiple batches of its highly enriched uranium before the strikes. The White House pushed back on the report's conclusions while not denying its existence. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt wrote on X that it was an alleged assessment and that it was flat out wrong, and that it was leaked by a, quote, low-level loser in the intelligence community. The news of the report came the day after Trump announced a ceasefire between Iran and Israel after 12 days of fighting. Earlier yesterday, Trump had an extraordinary display of anger, accusing both Iran and Israel of breaching the ceasefire. A warning to listeners, he did use a swear word.
You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
The ceasefire between Iran and Israel appears to be holding this morning. Number 2. There was a major upset in the New York City mayoral primary yesterday. Last night, former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo conceded the Democratic primary to a 33-year-old newcomer. Zohran Mamdani is a New York Assembly member and a Democratic socialist. He spoke to his supporters last night.
Tonight, we made history. In the words of Nelson Mandela, it always seems impossible until it is done.
This race has been seen as a proxy for a wider struggle over the future of the Democratic Party, a test fight between an older and a younger generation of Democrats. This was just the first tally in a ranked choice voting system, and final results aren't expected till next week. Once his nomination is official, Mamdani will face off in November against incumbent Eric Adams. He's running as an independent. And we may not have seen the last of Cuomo. He has left open the possibility that he'll still run for mayor in the general election as an independent. Number 3. Congress is moving toward passing Trump's massive tax and spending bill. It's been a while since I've told you about Trump's big, beautiful bill. It's a key part of Trump's agenda. It would extend tax cuts, end taxes on tips and overtime, and allocate billions of dollars for immigration enforcement. Republicans broadly agree on those proposals. But Republican lawmakers in the House and the Senate have struggled to reach a consensus on how to pay for them. And they disagree about other policies in the bill that touch on childcare, business investments, and climate change. Trump wants Congress to pass it by July 4th. In our newsletter today, we have a story explaining the 9 key areas of disagreement among Republicans. And there's something else that's really useful. A calculator showing how much you would save or lose with the bill. As usual, just follow the link in our show notes. Florida is building an Alligator Alcatraz for migrant detainees. That's number 4. This week, Florida started construction on a 1,000-bed detention facility for undocumented immigrants in the middle of the Everglades. The plan will turn a little-used airstrip next to Big Cypress National Preserve into a temporary detention facility. That's according to Florida's Attorney General, who dubbed it Alligator Alcatraz. Local officials and environmentalists have objected. They say it will harm protected wetlands that the state and federal government have spent billions to restore. Regardless, the facility could open in a matter of days. Federal officials say it will be one of several new sites in Florida that will house up to 5,000 detainees. Number 5. More extreme heat is expected across the country today. Yesterday was the peak day of a brutal ongoing heat wave for much of the eastern U.S. More than 150 million people were under heat alerts as of early yesterday. That included about 75 million people under extreme heat warnings from North Carolina to Maine. And I'm sorry to say, it's not going to be much cooler today. The most intense heat will get squashed farther to the south and east, from around New Jersey south to the Carolinas. If you want to look up how dangerous the heat will get in your city today, we have a tool for that in our newsletter. Plus, we have tips from people who work outside for staying safe. Number 6. Food packaging is exposing us to microplastics in surprising ways. It's already known that reusable plastic containers and other kinds of food packaging are leaching tiny particles of plastic into our bodies with every bite. But a new study found that drinking from glass containers may not save you from gulping down plastic. Specifically, drinks in glass containers with painted metal caps actually contain more microplastic particles than those in plastic bottles or cans. Meanwhile, another study found that highly processed products contain significantly more plastic than minimally processed foods. Studies have linked microplastics to health issues, including some types of cancer. So eating and drinking lots of them doesn't sound like a great idea. Luckily, you can head over to our newsletter for tips on how to reduce your exposure. And at number 7, Venice, Italy is getting ready for Jeff Bezos' wedding. In case you've never heard of him, Jeff Bezos is the billionaire founder of Amazon. He also happens to own The Post. This Saturday, he's marrying Lauren Sanchez in a lavish and secretive wedding. Many high-profile guests are expected to attend. Venice's Marco Polo Airport is bracing for the arrival of 100 private jets and air taxis, whatever that means. Rumored guests include Oprah, a Kardashian or two, and Ivanka Trump. The president's daughter was already spotted yesterday in a Venice water taxi. Some Venice residents are pleased by the prospect of an influx of cash from a billionaire and 200 to 250 of his best buds. But over-tourism protesters, eco-activists, and left-wing demonstrators are less than delighted for the happy couple. They're hosting demonstrations all week against what they see as the ultimate manifestation of the era of the 1%. One set of demonstrators unfurled a banner in St. Mark's Square on Monday. It read, "If you can rent Venice for your wedding, you can pay more tax." Concerns over further protests actually led to a change in venue for the big day. Congratulations to all involved. All right, you're all caught up. For your next listen, the newest season of Try This is out. It's all about gut health. It's a 3-part course exploring what the gut microbiome is, what it's doing in our body, and tips on what it takes to have a gut-healthy life. The first episode is out now. And if you're not a Post subscriber, you can find the second episode next week on Tuesday, July 1st. But if you want to hear the remaining 2 classes right now and ad-free, you should get a subscription to The Washington Post. Then connect it to Apple Podcasts. The easiest way to do that is to go into Apple Podcasts and look up the Washington Post channel. Find Try This wherever you listen to podcasts. I'm Hannah Jewell. I'll meet you back here tomorrow.